Hello and welcome to Freshers Now channel that helps you in correcting your English in your daily usage or as well as those who give their competitive exams with the use of these adverbs. Because they are as well called the modifiers, and we should be very careful with their usage because it is very commonly found not minding much with the use of these adverbs with the right places in the structures. So let us see that how they are used in the form of sentences. Now let's see that. The government of any country always should check its economy. Now here we should understand that always is an adverb and which should be used after the modal. Here we should know that the government of any country, the modal verb is should. So we should use the adverb after the modal verb and say always. Should always check its economy. Now let's see the next one. Watch how careful the sparrow knits the straws to form a nest. Now here you can see after that relative pronoun there how the manner, and you can see that it is careful and adjective, but it should be spoken with the manner, that is carefully. So we should say that. Watch how carefully the sparrow knits the straws to form its nest. Now let's see the next one. The children have been practicing hardly to win the match. And here you can see the adverb here, hardly. But here we should understand the hardly doesn't give a sense or a meaning in this context. Its usage here, it means that nothing. But with the nothing, you can't win the match. And so you should be careful with the use of it here, saying that the children have been practicing hard to win the match. Now let's see the next one. Although they had a lot of material comfort, it was very enough to satisfy. Now in this sentence you can see that enough is already an adverb there, and there is no need of the use of very, which is used for emphasizing something or someone. So you could eliminate the use of very there and say that although they had a lot of material comfort, it was enough to satisfy. Now let's see the next one. My dog has a habit of barking at strangers, but it seldom or ever bites them. Now here you understand it here. Seldom is rarely, and it is very less often used there. It is almost nil, very rarely. So the same that it's a parallelism almost that we should understand. Here use or ever, and there it is a positive ever. So it should be used an adverb with never bites them. And of course in the usage you can use that in place of or you can place with if ever bites. So here it is never to be used with. Now let's see the next one. The crucial point to be discussed at the meeting is how to well implement the policy. Now here we should understand the adverb is well and how to use it. And the verb is implement. And this verb is a transitive verb which takes an object. It may be in the form of a noun there. Now here we have it, that is a policy. So implement the policy. How? So we should use the adverb at the end saying that the crucial point to be discussed at the meeting is how to implement the policy well. So this is a way where you have to be careful with. And see that. He could only eat raw food because of digestion issues since his childhood. Now here you can understand how only the adverb used and the position of it. If I read it as it is there, it performs only an action there. Could only eat raw food and nothing. But here it suggests that issues are there, digestion issues, since his childhood. It is not that only that he could eat raw food. He could eat even other. But here it is there to suggest and support the following statement in continuance. You should say that he could eat only raw food because of digestion issues since his childhood. So this is how where we have to make use of these. Now let's see this one. They showed a wonderful, really attitude towards the newly wedded couple. Now here you should know that the adverb really used and it's placed there, and wonderful is an adjective. So a modifier, adverb is to modify an adjective. So you should use that. They showed a really wonderful attitude towards the newly wedded couple. Now let's see the next one. I could not ask always my father for his car without a vivid reason. Now here you should know the place of always, how it is used. What is it taking here? Always my father, if not who? There. So how is that to be said? So it is a modifier of the verb. So you should say that I could not always ask my father for his car without a vivid reason. He said it was quite all right to reject the offer. Now, quite means it's absolutely. That itself is an adverb there. Now here, that is quite completely. So there is no need of the use of all there. So you should say that he said it was quite right to reject the offer. Now let's see the next one. She was heavily fined last month for coming lately. Now what is this lately? Lately is an adverb, of course, but the meaning is recently. But you should understand in the sentence it was mentioned the time last month. It's specified. So you should say that, supporting and judging the given period there last month, and be careful with that and use the adverb late, because lately means recently, but here it doesn't suggest recently. It was last month. So she was heavily fined last month for coming late. Now let's see the next one. When carefully examined, it's found that there were some missing pieces. Now you can even here, find very easily that what you have learned from the earlier sentence here, from the previous sentences. Here you can know that the position of the adverb. It is here, when carefully examined, it's found that there were some missing pieces. So when examined, so we should be careful in its position of the adverb. Here we should say that when examined, how, the manner, carefully, it's found that there were some missing pieces. Now let's see the next one. I met him often near the town hall. So it is often an adverb to speak about the verb, about the frequency, the time. So I often meet him near the town hall. Now let's see the next one. it's better to be frugal, but don't be miser in giving alms. Here, miser is an adjective, so it should be the one to be turned to be an adverb by saying that miserly. So it's better to be frugal, but don't be miserly in giving alms. Now let's see the last one here. You have acted nobler than all of us. But here you should know that here we should use their adverb in a way that taking an adjective more and say that more nobly than all of us. So this is how where we should have a check in the use of the adverbs in the given sentences and their positions in the sentences and how they keep changing their meaning if the places are changed. And if you have any queries with related to this lesson, please don't forget to mention in the comment box below. And please subscribe to this channel so that I could come up with a number of useful videos for you. Thank you.